This is a 2018 Honda GoldWing. It's the DCT model, and I've had it outfitted so that I can drive it. I'm a paraplegic, a T6 level, without use of my legs, so I've had the bike modified, and now I can drive the bike and apply the brakes as needed. The one thing that had to be done to this bike after being a DCT, the bike had to have this brake lever put onto it that was set now to control all three wheels, whereas before the bike only had a rear foot brake that you had to use your feet for. So we take a look at the bike here. We can see it's got the MotorTrike conversion, and I do have the MotorTrike trailer that matches. So whenever I drive the bike, I don't have the bike set up so that I can be driving or that I can go on a trip by myself. I'll always have an able body with me that would need to get the chair out, because I do keep the chair in the trailer whenever I'm traveling. I'll show you an example of how I get on and off of the bike here, and then once I get onto the bike, I'll show you the controls that are on the bike there. But as we take a look around here at the trailer, let's go take a look here at the trailer. In this motorbike trailer, I had the cooler added to it, so there is a cooler inside of here, and then inside of this hatch is where I'll keep the wheelchair. So if we take a look in here, inside here there's plenty of room for a wheelchair, and I would just get an able body to set the chair down in there, and that's how I'll transport with my chair. This trailer was manufactured and sold by MotorTrike to match their three-wheeler. Here on this side we can see the brake adjustment that I did. Because there was a foot brake here, that wasn't going to do me any good, so I found a company that would modify the bike. They put the standard clutch lever onto the left handlebar, and then they came down and took off the foot brake and have added this junction that then takes the fluid from the foot pedal and lets the hand press it. And so now whenever I use the hand brake, I have braking for all three wheels. And then on this side, this brake is a front brake, which is just the standard Honda front brake, which is braking on my front wheel only. If we take a look at some of the add-ons that I've done on this bike for me, well, I do have a dash cam, but that has nothing to do with disability adding. The foot brake was one of the big things. This hand grip here for the rear brake, or for the rear passenger, I really got it added on for me, because once I'm onto the bike and I need to shift my weight, I reach back to this, and that's what I pick up with. There really wasn't a whole lot to pick up from without that. I had a seat put on that has a backrest, because I prefer to have a backrest, just for that little added support. I've added a phone holder. I've added a few other small things that aren't really important to needing to ride it for being disabled. Well, you just take a look at the bike. It's well suited for a paraplegic to drive it, but it's also well suited for any driver, whether you're disabled or not. A couple of things that I'm not really happy with about this bike. The one thing that I dislike the most is there's not a lot of storage when you're the driver and you need to store your cell phone, and you need to store a pair of gloves, and you need to store keys and a few other things. You just don't have a whole lot of that on this bike. Partially because this bike does have the airbag, so that takes away some of the storage that other GoldWings would have up front. And then on the far side we have one little compartment. I'll show you this little compartment over here. Very small compartment, but there's not a whole lot of space to store. You press this lever here, and this is all the storage you get. So that's really the downside to the bike. But being a trike, you have that big trunk in the back. I'll show you that. The one thing I did like about this bike is that I can put fuel in it without having to get off the bike. Inside of here is the fuel lever. So you just press the button here, and then this is going to open up the fuel cap. So while I'm sitting on the bike, if I pull up close enough to reach the pump, I can put fuel in the bike without having to get off. Now as for storage in the back of the bike, this is the standard Honda GoldWing trunk. So you have the ability here to press this button below, and you have the storage in here. Here you have a USB cable that you can provide power to your phone and charge if you needed to. And then inside the trunk there's a lever here. Sometimes a little tricky to get in. And then inside the trunk of the trike, fully carpeted area here. But with having the trailer and the trunk, there's really not a problem with storage in a way of carrying a suitcase and clothes and a wheelchair. My only complaint is the storage that while you're trying to drive and having the items with you while you're driving. Added on to this trike, I did a few options from MotorTrike. Of course the trailer, but the trailer has the brawl on it and the cooler. I added the chrome bumper from MotorTrike. A few other things that were added, a few other options I selected. So that's my GoldWing, perfectly outfitted for a disabled rider. A little bit of work to get it to this level, but if you decide you wanted to do it, this is a great option for you.